Welcome to another episode of the Mighty Movie Pod. My name is Ryan. Getting right into it. My name is Ryan.
I am Josh.
And we are back in your ear holes for another thrilling edition.
Almost fucked up the catchphrase.
I know. For another thrilling edition, episode 71, the most specialist of the episodes.
The special edition special episode.
True. We're here to talk about movies. One movie in particular.
One movie in particular, and this could be the end of a friendship and a storied, mediocre career in podcasting.
It's the end of an era. It's the end of the Skywalker saga, as they've decided to call it. I'm sure they decided that during the prequels, but whatever.
I got thoughts on that.
Yeah, well, yes. So we saw Star Wars.
We did.
It's 1 week later.
Yeah.
The release time was very
Merry
convenient.
Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. The release time was very convenient for people who have, lives. For us to get this podcast out. Last time I had taken a day off to get the podcast done.
Yeah, well, we also did it immediately after the movie.
3 a.m. Not our best idea. I listened to the episode. It wasn't that bad the first 45 minutes that I listened to, but I'm sure it gets worse after that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we just rambled on and on. I don't even remember half of what I said in that episode.
Yeah, either do I. I listened to it a little bit at the beginning because I was wondering how that went for fun.
Do you remember that anything? Like, I was just wondering, do you remember, is there one episode where you remember vividly?
There is one, and I think it was called, oh God, I don't know, remember the name of the episode, but I remember the one where I'm drinking out of the giant jug and we talk about pants and your dad, what he drinks out of.
Oh God, that was that was one of the early episodes. Yeah, we were talking about
Juggalos. I think we were talking about Juggalos.
I think we talked about Juggalos. Yeah, because we were talking about Jinko jeans.
Yeah,
but that's all I remember. I don't remember the entire episode. Yeah.
No, I remember Spider-Man.
We referred back to the Spider-Man fight. I was just wondering if there was one that you remember in detail everything. Because I don't remember 90% of them.
No, not a lot. And a lot of them I've actually listened to fully.
Yeah, I was going to say, you do the editing. So.
But no, they're they're all put up. So,
good news.
I obviously liked them.
I'm not sick this time, so you're not going to have to...
not as many coughs being
edited out for sure.
True. I don't have my pin here with me, but I plan on listening to this one before I edit it. So, anyway...
back on track.
Scheduled banter is over. We are going to go full force into Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker.
I will banter as much as I like.
Let's get into it, Josh.
All right.
Josh, what did you think of Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker?
Well, we saw it Thursday night.
Yes, it's been a week. Yep, it's been 1 week.
It has actually been a full week.
Mm-hmm.
I've had time to reflect.
For better or for worse, same here.
Yeah. I've had time to reflect and dwell on my life choices. I really like it.
Yeah.
And I feel really, really bad about that.
I'll tell you what I think. I really, really hate it.
Yes.
And I feel bad about that.
So we meet in the middle.
Oh, man.
Do we even know where to start?
No.
The opening crawl?
I don't remember the opening crawl.
I do.
It said the dead
Supreme Leader
speak.
Snoke and his dudes are looking for the thing.
No, it's Palpatine.
Yeah, Palpatine. But then all I remember is that the Supreme Leader Kylo Ren and his Knights of Ren are looking for a thingy.
Or looking to track him down to anybody who threatens his power.
All of 2 minutes maybe in the movie.
You see him a couple times.
They just kind of stood there ominously, not doing much.
Yeah, they looked at a ship. They walked through a hallway, and then some guys were like, "Hey, look, it's the Knights of Ren." In case you didn't know. And
in case you forgot.
Yeah, some stormtroopers. Knights of Ren, huh? Am I right? They said something else, but it was
along those lines.
Yeah, I think he said those ghouls, which I thought was odd.
Yeah.
I think the word,
we don't need those ghouls. We don't need that scum.
I don't know if they're human beings, all of them, or what. But there's a lot of things I want to
get into that.
So, all right, fuck it. This is what we're gonna do.
What are we gonna do?
Let's structure this way.
Do you want to talk about what we liked?
Well, that's gonna be very short. So for me. So let's structure it this way. Let's go non-spoilers. For a quick synopsis of what you felt about the movie. You go ahead.
I want to watch you do this.
Okay.
Because how can
the short of it is I thought that it was an embarrassing, terrible.
Oh, I thought you were talking about synopsing.
Terrible. Oh no, the story element. No, there's absolutely no way. It, like
that's what I was trying to figure out.
4 minutes into the movie, I can't speak about what goes on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was just gonna say, in summary, obviously you're gonna go watch it, and I hope that you enjoy it. I think there are some things there, but overall, I think it's a sloppy, embarrassing, like second mess of a movie that makes me feel bad and made me want to cry in all the wrong ways. Josh, how did you feel about the movie? I know you liked it, and you thought more about it, and you really like it.
Well, I'm gonna be kind.
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying to see like a silver lining for this one.
Envy there.
It is by no means a fantastic film. No one will ever look back, I think, with complete fondness on any of this trilogy. But I believe it is the best they could do with the mess that was made. And I appreciate the effort, as short as it fell. That's about the best I can give it.
Sick. All right. So from here on out, it's spoiler town. I'm sure we probably said a spoiler at one point, but whatever. Palpatine is in it. Everybody knows that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So spoiler territory.
And they spoil that in the opening crawl.
Yes. Yeah. The dead speak. It's Palpatine.
The old Palpy. Old Papa Palpatine.
Old Papa Palpatine. He's there. Yeah. So I fucking hate it, and I completely disagree with your sentiment that they did the best they could with the mess that was made, because there was no mess to be cleaned up. They just decided not to roll with the punches and try to make a completely different trilogy in one movie. And not only that, basically made Return of the Jedi not matter because Palpatine's back, so there's no redemption arc. There's kind of a redemption arc for Darth Vader at that point. So it's like, cool, he's still here. They didn't do anything. He's alive. All right. I was 25 minutes in, I knew it was going to be the worst movie I've ever seen, because it's probably the third worst Star Wars movie. So probably
Attack of the Clones is up there.
Attack of the Clones. You can never outdo that mess.
What's number 2? Rogue One.
I think Solo.
Revenge of the Sith.
Solo, Revenge of the Sith, whatever.
Yeah,
take your pick. It's not worse than the prequels, probably. But
no, I don't think it's worse than the prequels.
No,
in total,
no.
I think it's probably worse than. It's as good as Phantom Menace without it being long and boring.
But yeah, it's not long. It's not long and boring.
No, it's the exact opposite.
25 minutes in, there's we're in spoiler territory. So
it's fast and confusing.
Yes. 25 minutes in, I was actually like, you know what? This is starting to pick up. Like the pacing is weird, and in the opening, I didn't really care for.
The pacing is a freight train.
The immediacy of being like, Palpatine's alive and Snoke was just Palpatine, and now Kylo Ren's gonna go and try to kill her again.
Snoke was not Palpatine. Snoke was a tank baby.
Yeah, that was controlled by Palpatine or something.
But like, what were they, lifeless puppets that he put a portion of himself into? Because he just has a jar of Snoke there.
He does.
There was two
Snokes, so there was at least 3 Snokes.
Every kitchen shelf should have a Snoke on it.
Yeah, and since he revealed himself, this is what I mean. Like, they're just backtracking on things for no reason. Rian Johnson said, hey, how about you have Kylo Ren and the character drama between Kylo Ren and this new hero and finding their place in this story instead of having a main bad guy. And J.J. Abrams went, no.
Well, you're addressing why I feel bad about it. And it's because while I liked parts of the movie enough to be like, oh, well, they gave it a shot. Okay. It feels like it's entirely reactionary. The entire film is reacting to every criticism that's ever been lobbied on the internet against them. Except for Rey being still, just the greatest.
Yeah, every single one. There were parts that were just so... Let me get back to what I was saying. So 25 minutes in, I knew it was going to be really bad because I was getting into it. The pacing was weird. I didn't like how it opened immediately with Palpatine. I was hoping there was going to be less than I'm here now. Come back later. Bye.
Well, yeah, it felt like that was supposed to be the whole second movie
Sure. Yeah.
And it felt out of order. I felt like we should have watched that quest there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I'm pretty sure if we pick up the comics.
Oh, I'm sure. But yeah, it was very immediate and whatever. But there's a point where Rey uses force powers and I'm like, this is cool. She jumps over that TIE fighter and fucking cuts the wing off.
Yeah, that was pretty badass.
And Kylo Ren goes fucking
tumbling. By the way, what happened to his TIE fighter? He's just using some other guy's TIE fighter.
I guess. I don't know. So... And then he goes tumbling, and then she tries to force pull down like a first order transport. And
that was pretty cool.
And I was like, hell yeah, this is actually getting it. I'm like, all right. I'm enjoying this now. I thought the pacing was weird, and she was hanging out with the bug, and whatever. And Finn said it was a snake beast.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And Finn said something that they literally never talked about again.
Nope. That was never addressed. Felt like that ended up on the
because it got lost in the edit, and they were like, "Whoops!" So that happened, and then I want to force
right
lightning
now,
comes out of her hand, and it blows it up, and we think that she just killed Chewie with force lightning. And I said,
"Well, you forgot to address the part where Chewie gets kidnapped off screen."
Chewie got kidnapped off screen, and Finn yells Rey for the first of 1,000 times in the movie.
Well, I mean, he's been doing that since the first movie.
Since the first one, but he's especially useful at doing that in this one.
That's pretty much all he does.
Yeah, it didn't address that from Last Jedi, that's for sure. So they didn't give him anything to do. So presumably what he was going to tell her was probably important, but it got cut out of the movie. So then she blows it up with force lightning, and I went, oh, I see where this is going. This is going to be bad. Yeah. And it got in the dialogue from there got embarrassing.
They had been hinting at for the whole movie that she was actually somebody.
Somebody, yes.
And there was a whole lot of like, don't be scared of yourself. No, you're okay. No, you're okay. And it was like, all right, well, and then she threw the lightning out, and I was like, oh, she's Palpy's kid.
Yeah. Which is an embarrassing thing to say.
Yeah.
I find it to be
and she's not even his kid; she's his granddaughter, which doesn't.
I was like, so who was his kid, and was he cool?
The mom.
Was it the mom or was it the dad? Because they showed both parents.
I think they said that her mother was his, and she ran away. And I was like, well, when did she run away?
Yeah,
because
timelines and what happened.
Why are you here?
Yeah.
I really didn't like the Emperor part. I thought that was dumb. Whether they made Kylo Ren more of a presence or not, or like Snoke had just cloned himself.
Yeah.
Which would have been bad, but not as bad.
I just felt like, why even bring in a big bad at that point? Why, like...
Well, why couldn't Kylo be the big bad?
That's what I mean. Yeah, like, have it be them finding their way through it. Like, whether you dislike the whole throne room situation in Last Jedi
you wouldn't have to play... You couldn't play Hux for a joke.
You would have to write a movie, like, if at that point. Instead of being like, how do we make this conclude like Return of the Jedi, but dumb?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's just they were put in a place to have a whole wide range of options.
He could have just done one movie instead of being like, this is what I wanted to do with the trilogy in one movie.
True.
That's a valid complaint.
Yeah. And it was like, all right, they already addressed that, and they were making it more about these two characters and whatever. Whether people feel like he was taking, you talked about this a bit, where it's like he addressed every little gripe. It's like whether
Oh, Chewie didn't cry when Han died, so now we're gonna throw him
Have
into
him throw a
some
tantrum.
kind of soap opera overacting. Not like I laughed.
I
laughed.
booed. There's 3 scenes with Chewie that are all, well, Chewie's not technically in one, but Chewie's part of 3 scenes that are all one of the worst scenes of the movie. When he explodes, and I was like, that's just stupid. And then when he has the meltdown, because I'm like, oh yes, we remember when he walked by Leia and didn't give her a hug. And then when they give him the medal, I booed out loud in the theater. I don't know if you heard me.
I hear you.
Boo.
I heard you do that, and that was the one where the guy next to me went, and I went, oh, and I looked at your brother and was like, because of the first,
Because he didn't get one.
Remember that from
Yeah.
like
It was like a funny little thing where it's like,
50
why
years
is he
ago?
up there if they don't give him one? And then that was some Rogue One level bullshit.
yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, Chewie. So again, I think it had less to do with he didn't like that from The Last Jedi and more, well, that makes me have to try to write something good now.
Yeah.
And I'll just ignore that.
Well, like, I don't know if that's what it was, or if it was just, like I said, reactionary, if it was because he didn't like it or because the internet didn't like it.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel like all this movie was it was just like a bunch of good ideas, but he had to make peace with all the shit fan base.
Yeah, could be.
That's what I feel like it is.
Those were-
I don't think it was like him being like, no, I can do it better. Him being like, no, we can fix it, guys. That's what I feel like happened.
Yeah, I mean, the world may never know. It's just it's genuinely disappointing. Like the movie didn't even make me that angry. It was just, I was just like, oh, all the
It was the ultimate disappointment.
all the hopes I had for the characters and the drama and the resolutions and there's just. Nah, we're just going to be like, she has to use 2 lightsabers to melt his face off. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, I love that she finally
to
gets
not-
her own lightsaber in the last scene of the movie.
That she ignites for seemingly no reason.
Yeah, she just it's a Darth Maul moment. We're like, see,
Yes.
I'm the guy.
Yeah. A lot of Rogue One stuff going on,
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. That was a scene that I did like though, but I felt like they kind of pulled a switcheroo on me. She goes back to Luke's house.
Yeah.
And Luke's home.
Yes.
With Aunt Beru and
The
Tatooine.
Lars homestead.
Yeah, the Lars homestead on Tatooine, the moisture farm.
Mm-hmm.
And when she landed, I was just like, oh, maybe she's gonna build a new temple, start a new school. That's pretty cool. No, she just goes there to pull the same mistake that every other person in this series has made, and is like, oh, I'm just gonna bury these super weapons really deep in the ground. No one will ever find them.
Yeah.
And it was just to get her to say like, I'm Rey Skywalker.
Yes.
And I was like, all right.
Which is very funny because the last thing that Leia said to her was, don't be afraid of who you are. And then the first person to ask her who she is, she lies.
Yeah, I'm Rey Skywalker because I don't want to be a Palpy.
I'm Rey Star Wars Skywalker Fisto Windu.
Jin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever. We had to make the title make sense. Well, you didn't have to name it that.
Yeah, right. But then how would we know who the Skywalker was that rose? Because it definitely wasn't Kyle. Kyle.
It wasn't Kyle.
It wasn't Kyle. Kyle
wasn't
dead.
Kyle.
No,
he was a solo anyway. I never understood where they're like the Skywalkers.
he has the Skywalker blood.
He does. But
his name is Ben Solo.
Can we get, you know what? Fuck it, Josh. I instead of just griping here, because like I said, I'm not going to be a rabid person on the internet who's getting all worked up about Force Awakens and The Last Jedi and all that stuff. I'll talk about the things I hate, but there are things that I do like. All of which I will tell you now. I do like some of the dialogue that doesn't involve Kylo Ren having Adam Driver say things like, they were nobodies because they wanted to be. You're actually Palpatine's granddaughter. And I was like, This is a line of dialogue he had to say on set, and people had to not laugh. So that was a thing. But no, they're back and forths, and him grabbing the thing off of her through their little connection to the Force that they have.
Yeah, I liked all that stuff. That was a carryover from Last Jedi that I was glad was still there.
Oh, absolutely. It was some of the best stuff from that movie.
Yeah, all the Jedi stuff from that movie is that we've talked about.
Yes, we've talked about it in depth. The movie is not great by any means, but
no, that was good. And I liked the Indiana Jones pulp adventure. That was a lot of what was going on. I really enjoyed all that. Them riding the skiffs while the bad guys are chasing them down, and they're having the got to outrun the Nazis type of car chase thing. I thought that was cool.
Agreed.
I really enjoyed all that. As stupid as a lot of it was,
yeah,
because there were some really dumb parts in all of that, but I did enjoy the having to go aboard a Star Destroyer for something, even though it didn't fucking make any sense.
No. No, I enjoyed a lot of that too. It was, it was fast paced. You didn't really have to think about how some of it was a little inconsequential. Yeah. Like going to meet Babu Frick and whatever the fuck her name was. That had nothing to do with anything.
Zazie Beetz.
Zazie whatever. Because if you think about it,
Kerry Russell's character makes no sense.
Yes, she's there to prove that Poe is not gay.
Well, I feel like it became that, but like I said, it feels like he crammed like 2 movies into one. Yeah. So I feel like the second movie would have had a lot to do with being on that planet.
Perhaps.
And the 2 of them.
Yeah, perhaps.
Because, I mean, like, fucking... I never gave a shit if Poe was gay or not.
No, either did I. But it felt like they almost actively were like, just so you know. Yeah. Because they could have just left it.
Because it's late in the game. Yeah. He's had no attraction to anybody whatsoever. So I see the argument. Yeah. But it was just like, no, she would have been a really cool character. That whole planet would have been super dope to be on.
Yes.
And that's the thing that I like about it, is like there's so much cool potential there, and it disappoints me because none of it's followed through, but I did enjoy it. Precisely.
It is a 10-second, it's a 10-second scene that addressed a complaint I've had since Force Awakens. In Force Awakens and Last Jedi, I was like, they're not showing like what it's like to live in the world of Star Wars at this time.
No, and this one you're watching them kick down doors, drag civilians out in the street.
Yeah, you're like, oh, okay, this is what they're doing.
They're doing raids on houses and stuff, and you see just fires burning in the background of them just like burning people's houses down. Like they're huge pieces of shit. That needed to be in its own movie.
Yeah, there needed to be more of that. But like they're looking around and then they have like a little haha. And it's like, I know they were there for the C-3PO thing. Yeah. That ended up not mattering, because if you think about it.
No, none of that fucking mattered, dude. No. Okay, yeah.
No, none of it did.
Yeah.
It was for a joke, and then also they just went back up and got the dagger again, and then also, if they needed the dagger to get to the thing at the Death Star wreckage, then how did Kylo Ren get there first? Because he had
the thing. He had the Wayfinder.
Yeah, but the Wayfinder is to get to the thing, not to the other Wayfinder. It's to get to the planet. That's
right.
And then she never actually got the Wayfinder she was going after. She just stole his ship that already had it on there. So literally everything leading up to that point had nothing to do with anything.
No, it didn't matter at all.
So that's why I was like, well, this is kind of dumb. And that's like, a lot of what I didn't like about The Last Jedi was how the slow speed chase and Canto Bight, and how nothing mattered to the main thrust of the story. And I feel like that was most of this movie. I feel like it was 3 Canto Bight stories mixed into the whole movie. And I was like, am I crazy?
I still don't know what the main story of Last Jedi was.
Well, again, I think we were supposed to be talking about things we liked. Yes, I did like the little bit of the let's go on an adventure now. And I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah, it was nice to see them all together.
Yeah, exactly. That was one thing that I did like, that was an obvious, like, we're going to make things right from Last Jedi, is get all the characters fucking together,
Yeah.
because that was awful, and that's the worst part of Last Jedi. Is
Yeah, I
all
think
separated with
it's-
nothing to do.
I've seen online people saying that Poe and Finn didn't have much to do, but I felt like they were doing things as much as Han and Chewie would do.
Yeah.
Speaking of Chewie doesn't do anything in this.
No,
fucking
he gets
movie.
kidnapped and then fake deaths in an explosion.
And then literally becomes a back seat, like
Mhm.
not even the back seat, the one that's like flipped around so you look out the back window of the old family station wagon. He's just there to go once in a while, and everybody's like, oh yeah, he's still here, but then they act like 3PO's the one that nobody cares about. And I'm like,
Yes.
3PO's got like way more to do in this than pretty much anybody, actually.
And yeah, and it was weird. I noticed it,
Yeah.
made a note, but it didn't bug me, but I also didn't care that much. But I was just kind of like, all right, 3PO is like a big character in this for some reason.
Yeah, and R2 has to stay home.
And R2 doesn't do anything. He had to stay home with fucking Rose.
Yeah, Rose and Leia.
And
Yeah,
like,
poor Rose.
Leia, that's
Poor
a
Rose, they gave her the hard Jar Jar
Oh, yeah.
Binks treatment.
yeah, for sure.
And it wasn't even her fault.
No, she was a bad character. They couldn't, but instead of just getting rid of her, they could have made her a good character.
Yeah, like fixed her.
Yeah, whatever. They left her behind. I don't have a lot to say about it.
I liked the idea of more deserters
Yes,
a lot.
Mhm.
I was very intrigued by them. And once again, that doesn't get explored. That feels like, again, that would have been in another movie.
Yeah.
Especially since now we're going to go on an adventure with Lando and her, I assume, in the next movie.
Yeah.
I thought Lando was going to end up being her papa or something.
Yeah, that's
like
what I
that.
was thinking was happening
But
there. And then I was
nope.
like, huh,
Nope.
no.
No, she's like, well, what do you say we go find out who he is? And I was like, all right.
Is that a euphemism?
Yeah. Right? Like the other thing, I was like, oh, Lando.
Oh, Lando.
You old dog.
You old pansexual
But
weirdo.
yeah. he'll fuck anything, even a droid.
Even a droid. He doesn't care.
How does that? I still don't know how that works.
Oh, it works.
I know.
That's the dialogue.
Yeah, well, I feel like that's
Trust in the dialogue, Josh.
trust in the dialogue. Is the dialogue the Force?
Maybe.
Nobody knows how it works, but it just does.
Nobody knows how it works. No, you're right. I think they wrote three. He wrote 3 movies.
He wrote 3 movies in one
and then
movie.
was like, all right, now we need to cut it down to this last movie. And I'm like, how about you make a sequel to the last one?
yeah.
And if there are things you don't like about where the last one
Well,
went,
if this one hadn't,
correct.
if this
Don't
one,
just completely destroy it.
well, if this one hadn't been trying to address every stupid complaint, because it spends most of its time doing that, every stupid complaint from The Last Jedi and
Force
everything
Awakens.
else,
Even from Force
and
Awakens.
spent more time just being like, all right, we're moving forward.
Yeah. The whole theme of the last movie.
Yeah. It could have made sense, but they spent so much time trying to make up for everybody's, crybaby tantrums that it could have been a great movie.
And now now everybody hates it.
And now everybody's
anyway.
mad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everybody's mad anyway. So like it's just that's why I'm done
Oh, for
with
sure.
this, dude.
Oh,
like I'm glad they said no more trilogies. Even
Yeah.
if they announce another one, I'm probably not going to indulge because this has been a shitstorm from the word go. Not because the movies have all been bad. I still like Force Awakens the most.
Yeah. Force Awakens is a very good movie.
But the community is just the absolute worst, and they shot
Yeah.
themselves in the foot with this movie. And that's the thing. That's what I mean. The best they could do, because it's been a mess the whole time, and no matter what they do,
Yeah.
it's all bad. They tried to do something different and move plot forward and change everything up, change the formula. That was terrible. So then they went back to form. That was terrible. They're never going to do anything right.
Agreed.
Ever.
And that's
And
why I
it's-
think you just ignore that and you just make a movie. And you're right. I think the most
Well,
distracting
the problem
stuff in
is
this movie,
they can't move forward. They can't ignore that because, like, I imagine there's somebody sitting there going, like, "Well, Twitter's got this and this says that, and
Yeah.
Rotten Tomatoes this," and it's. I feel like there's some kind of studio head,
Yeah, no, I
We
mean,
gotta-
you
we
have
gotta
to go.
fix
You have to
this.
go see the movie to find out to find out about all the things you want to complain about. So I feel like you just don't worry about it and make the movie you want to make. And you're right. The most distracting part of the movie is all the things that you're like, okay, so I get what you're doing here. I shouldn't notice that they're doing things to appease a fan. Like, it's the ultimate fan service.
Yeah, and that's why I feel like I like it,
Mm-hmm.
because I see at the core a good movie there, and I'm willing to ignore the bullshit, which, but I can't ignore it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I like it, but I feel bad about it because, like, honestly though, one thing I gotta say is I can't remember any of the music from this movie.
This one in particular, no.
No, Last Jedi is another one. I remember Force Awakens soundtrack.
Yeah.
But like they've gotten progressively. That was a problem with the prequels with me.
Yeah.
I can't aside from like Duel of the Fates and like Anakin's Dark Deeds. I don't remember most of the fucking soundtracks to those.
Yeah.
And this one was just like, unless it was a callback.
Yeah.
I don't remember any of the soundtrack. I said the Emperor thing was terrible, but I did love the look of the temple that he was in.
Yeah, it was
or
cool.
the ruin.
It's like
whatever it is that
whatever
he's in.
the hell's going
I
on
thought
there.
that was great. That reminded me of Fallen Jedi or Knights of the Old Republic and stuff. The cool set pieces from those. Yeah. I like Rey. I like Kylo. They're still great. I still like Poe and Finn.
Yeah. They did this thing of like Poe's a jerk now, I guess, a little bit, which I was like, okay, I get it.
Yeah, it feels
it went less
felt
cocky and more like a jerk.
Yeah, it felt like they were still trying to like give Poe a personality by the third movie.
Yeah.
Because we knew he was the cocksure, cocky guy from the first movie, but like since Last Jedi, they're like, no, he's kind of a dick too, and in this one, he's just a straight up bastard. We get this whole backstory about him. I think that would have been great.
Yeah.
If it had been in a full movie.
Exactly. But that's the thing. You can't make up in like, that's the thing. Everybody wants to be like, oh, from The Last Jedi. It's like, but also from Force Awakens. All of these characters were there, ripe for development. You developed 2 of them. The second movie did a poor job of developing anybody outside of the main 3 people. You've got, Luke, Leia, not really Leia.
Leia's always just kind of been present.
Yeah, and Kylo, and it's like, and you did great stuff with them.
Yeah,
and you set it up to be like, and now they have to deal with this mess they inherited, and instead they're like, no, the Emperor's still here, and also she's not gonna have to find her way by herself, because all of a sudden we're gonna be like, well, Leia was a Jedi, kind of.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I saw her use the Force, but I didn't know I was gonna have to see CGI young Leia running around in the jungle, training as a Jedi. That did absolutely nothing for me. I was kind of like,
well, Luke did it.
No, I know, but I'm saying it didn't do anything to be like, also take backsies. She was a Jedi. She just never talked about it or did anything until we needed it for the story.
But Luke did it. So it's got to happen.
She didn't mention it for 3 movies for no reason, but yeah. And not only that, they should have brought it up earlier in the fucking movie, because I was so confused when she's like master, and I was like, what the fuck does she know?
Yeah.
And like, I saw her float through space once. I don't, that's not helpful here.
Yeah.
So that was like a whole thing they did. And like, yeah, I know she passed away and it sucks.
I liked the idea of, as much as I made jokes about them becoming the rebellion, I did like that they felt a little more desperate, I think, than the rebellion ever did to me when they were on that one play. It was just like you saw that they didn't have shit.
That is one thing that carried over from Last Jedi, is that they were still just like, we have like nobody on our fucking side.
Yeah,
so
yeah, we are
still
alone. Yeah. I liked that exchange between him and the Zazie Beetz. That's an actress, but I can't, it's like Zelly or
Yeah, I don't remember.
Zazu or something like that. Zuko.
I do not remember.
Can't remember her name, but Carrie Russell, with Carrie Russell's character, where he's just like, we called for help and nobody came.
Yep.
And it was just like, I don't know, just again, just good actors giving good performances in a pretty crap movie. And I think that's what elevated it for me a lot, was that everybody does a good job of trying to sell what's happening.
Yes. If luckily for me, because of the things that I look to get out of these movies, Kylo Ren actually had a story that started and progressed and concluded and had an arc, and I was very into it, and it was fine. He became good guy Ben Solo again.
I gotta disagree with you there, buddy.
And he had one line, and it was "ow," and I thought that was great. And then
I really hated his redemption moment.
Oh, no, that was done. No, I'm not talking about that.
The whole thing, just like where he's just like, oh, hey, it's my dad. Oh, I'm not going to kill you. Oh, I'm going to throw my lightsaber away. Bye. I'm good. And then he does like, it was terrible. Like all of that was terrible.
What was Rey's arc?
She found out that Palpatine was a papa.
Yes.
Grandpapa
Palpatine.
Grandpapa Palpatine.
Yeah.
Ooh, Palpatine.
Yes.
And then she gave Kylo a lightsaber.
Yes, exactly.
And then she decided not to be the Emperor's new vessel.
Yeah. Yes, which never seemed like a good idea. He was even less convincing. First of all, he only has one move: reveal people getting blown up, and then be like, "You have to do it."
Yeah.
And then they're like, "No," and he's like, "Well, then die."
Yeah, young fool.
The only thing he knows how to do.
Exactly. He's just like, I'm a dick, you see. Behold.
But at least something happened. He decided to do something.
I know. It was just like, it all just felt like, oh yeah, we got to do that. Shit.
The question I have for you, if you don't like either one of those, then literally nothing else happened in the movie. This is the only thing that happened.
They fought on a bridge, which was an infinitely better, tense, and dramatic scene than any of that last fight between the Emperor and the two of them.
No, I had checked out by that fucking point.
Yeah, no, dude, it just felt so rushed. Like, you don't see him for most of the movie, and then, like, all of a sudden, there's a couple times you do see him, he's being a huge piece. He's just like, hey, like, you could have been good. You could have been with me. You can still be with me, or I'll fucking kill you.
Yeah.
And she's just like, oh, well, I wanted to. And he's like, well, you should. And she's like, no. And he's like, all right, well, I'm going to kill you. And then it's like, the last 5 minutes of the movie. And he's like, I'm here to save you. Yes, and it was like, and she's just so pumped that he's here. And I'm like, nothing led to this. He was a dick, and then he wasn't because Vader did it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, he did get stabbed. She did stab him through the thing, and then he got his mom being like, hey, and then that was literally it. Like, everything with Leia was so bad. I was like, why did you guys do this?
It really was.
I understand. It's touching. I understand. You want to pay tribute, and she died, and I feel bad, but you need to make a functional fucking movie here, guys. And they're like, no, we don't. People will go see it.
We're actively refusing.
Nah, we don't. And I'm like, this is all so bad. So, he was touched by that and got stabbed, and then she healed him and was like,
part of me wonders,
by the way,
though,
Dick, I would be with you, but you're a dick. And he's like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be a dick. It's something. It's not better than nothing, which is the whole rest of the movie. Part
of me wonders if that was always the written arc for Leia, and then we just got the rushed version of it. And that's where it started from me, was after she stabs Kylo, everything for Kylo from that point on, as good as the scene between him and Han was, I did like that bit. It just felt like it was just like, okay, get this together, and now he's here.
Yeah, well, he shows up, he says ow. I'm agreeing with you. He shows up, he says ow, he does a thing, they kiss, and then it's over. And it's like
that bothered the shit out of me. That was where they completely lost me, where I was just like, what?
I mean, yeah. They've established that.
Well, it was just again like, well, this is what the internet wants, you know. So it was just like, yeah, but her and Finn, like, you know, Finn has not actively tried to murder her for most of these movies, and then been like, hey, you can still come with me, but you know,
yeah,
I'll kill you. You know, it's
true.
And then she's just like, oh, I've always loved you, and I'm like, what the fuck is this?
I mean, whatever.
I love how we keep trading places, but I'm like, I liked it, but that's dumb. And you're like, that okay, it's dumb, but that was cool.
It's dumb, but it's the only thing happening in this movie.
Yeah,
so,
but I can still not like what's happening.
True. Well, yeah. Yes, very true. Yeah. But I like movies where things happen.
Yeah, it's why we shouldn't have seen this. I loved the ruins of the Death Star.
Yeah, cool.
I thought that was rad. You know, I know everybody's like, oh, but it was atomized. Nothing fucking just disintegrates. Like it's a massive
You can't be
structure.
Upset about early 80s special
effects. Yeah, exactly. They brought the Terminator back twice, you know.
Yeah.
The same endoskeleton.
Yep.
But T-1000 keeps showing up.
Can't stop him.
Can't stop him. He's liquid metal. So I liked that. And that reminded me a lot. Maybe it's because I just finished Fallen Order. Because like I loved her climbing around the wreckage or something. And it also made me think of the opening scenes from Force Awakens. It was a nice callback to that. Her climbing through that Star Destroyer and everything.
Absolutely.
It was really cool to see
her intentional callback.
using her skill set again, which was, you know, climbing around pieces of junk.
Yeah.
I thought that was awesome. I loved the callback in the music to Vader's death scene. Actually, the slow Empire theme on the piano.
Yep.
As she comes into the throne room, I thought that was really great. I loved the idea of Palpatine being more of spirit of vengeance, I guess, than an actual body.
Yeah.
Executed poorly. Absolutely poorly. And like I said, I hated that shit where it's just like, I'm still me.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm not me.
But I'm not. Don't think about it.
Yeah,
I'm in bed with big Sith.
Force. Yeah. With big dark side. Yeah.
And it makes me lots of money.
I hated all of that, but I loved that the auditorium got filled with like what I'm assuming are Sith ghosts
or whatever the fuck. Yeah.
But you know, again, I was
like, are those people? Are those spirits of all these Sith that we're talking about? Are they all going to possess?
And like
her
that's why I've pictured Palpatine was just like it. So it would have been cooler if it was like the cave from Empire, where he doesn't have a body. He's just there.
Yeah.
Like it's just like that's where his spirit returned or whatever, and you find out that it's just that Palpatine is not Palpatine.
There's also dark side Force ghost type things going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If Luke as a Force ghost can catch lightsabers and walk into huts and shit, then like I feel
don't throw this lightsaber away. It's a tool of the. Wink at the camera.
Yeah, it's like, cool, dude.
Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah, don't throw this over your shoulder. It's fine if you throw it to the side in defiance.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, but yeah, I liked the potential of that scene, and it was so terrible.
True. Yeah, no. You're right. It's primed for fine ideas, and there's good imagery, and there's awesome sequences, but like I was invested in all of these characters and this story, and while some of the other movies had their fucking problems, this decided to just do nothing and then end it.
This decided to do nothing while doing everything.
Yeah, have a very flashy nothingness go on for a while.
That's a good way to put flashy nothingness.
They rushed one of my favorite character to at least having a bit of an arc, whether you care about, like, sure, he decides on a whim. He gets stabbed. His mom said hello to him and then died. and then fucking for
I wish
for
that's-
no reason, because they were just like, well, this is gonna really take it out of her. I was like, did we establish she was sick in any way before this?
It was essentially
No.
her speaking to Ben or Kylo
Yeah.
was essentially the scene of when fucking Luann sees Buckley's ghost.
Yes.
And he just comes back and goes, hey,
Hey.
and then vanishes into the air. Buckley Angel.
Yeah, she says hello, and then he gets distracted and stabbed through the fucking abdomen.
Yep.
And then, you know, she kind of talks some shit to him.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm like, this is good. I've enjoyed this. And then nonsense happens from there. I like that, like, Red 5 was back in the air, and
That was really
and they're like,
cool.
we're gonna follow her there, and you kind of get more of what they set up, but in a much better way in The Last Jedi, of Poe being like, I'm an idiot, this isn't gonna work.
Yeah.
I can't just show up and blow shit up all the time.
Yeah, I did like that part where he's like, I really thought we had a shot. And I was
Yeah.
like, no, you didn't.
No, you
How?
don't.
Why would you think
Oh,
that?
also, the parts of the story sound like if you were jokingly making a satire movie, because you're like, and then there's 100 Death Stars that all can blow up planets.
See, I'm going to give you that one. I did like, again, see, God, this is the problem. You have like really good, valid complaints with this.
No, and it's a subjective art form.
I had a huge problem with the massive fleet, but I liked that there was like a secret Imperial force.
Yeah.
I liked that, like you get I got the feeling that those troopers, the reason that they were kicking the shit out of everybody was because they weren't just your average bullshit stormtrooper. Like, these guys were handpicked and have been there for forever.
Yeah, like you could ask like, well, where do they come from? How long have they been there? What do they eat? But at the same time, it's like, who cares?
Yeah,
It's a movie.
It's a Star Wars
Yeah.
movie. There's no explanation.
But yes,
You're
I
never
did
gonna
like.
get one.
I was okay.
I
with
was
it.
just like, well, and then I was just like, so they just sit there in Atmel, and that brings to another fucking question that I have had since the very beginning. What does J.J. Abrams have against space fights?
I have no idea.
Like,
and that's the thing.
Because that's the name of the movie is Star Wars. So why are they all in low atmo? You know,
all the time. Yeah.
like that fleet's just hovering.
The
there.
convoluted low speed chase of
You'd
of
think
the
those
last,
Star Destroyers, yeah, they can't leave, but couldn't they set up a fucking blockade around the goddamn planet?
Yeah. So, like, the low speed chase and all that bullshit from The Last Jedi, like, that was some of the worst parts of that movie. And then this had the same just poor logic of like, well, they're going to blow up a thing and then they can't leave and they can't do anything, and like random nonsense to make it convenient for whatever they needed the plot to do. And I was like,
Yeah.
wow, they didn't fix that at all.
Well, and
when I
like-
saw that big fleet, I was like, it's going to be a big old space battle.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, there's a lot of ships.
Well, especially when you see the 6 billion ships come
Yeah.
out of hyperspace that got there just fine.
Well, because they followed the thing that she had, the map she had laid.
All 6 billion ships, that had to be one stuffed hyperspace lane. They're just sitting there like, well, Jesus, we could have left an hour earlier. You know, like,
Yeah.
I'm just like, if the First Order is as a massive and impressive as it's supposed to be, what do they need with 10,000 Star Destroyers?
That can all blow. First of all, they're going to blow up the whole galaxy, and then I don't understand what
Who rules
who's
what?
ruling what at
Yeah.
this point. Yeah. So here's the thing. They got rid of this bullshit. It's so funny. I don't understand what they're doing with this movie. So they got rid of the stupid, we're the rebellion now in The Last Jedi, and they're like, no, we just call them the Resistance. Like, come on, we set this up. And then they're like, it's the Empire First Order Final Order or whatever. And I'm just like, so now we just flip the switch here on who is the confusing nightmare of what do we call you.
Yeah.
It's going to be the Final Order of the First Order of the Empire Remnant. I'm like, oh, fuck me,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah. You know what my biggest gripe was?
What?
My boy Hux.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I was going to tell you, because that you say that pretty early on in our Last Jedi review about how he's just a fucking whipping boy. He does nothing but go, oh, yeah, no, I like your mask. Well done. And then he goes, I'm the spy. I'm dead now. Bye.
I know.
I was like, oh, good, they're gonna take him with them, and then he's just there still. I'm like, why didn't he go with them?
Yeah.
I don't understand. Did he really think this is gonna work out for him? They were like, no, we need Admiral Pride to be the cool guy.
Was that his name?
Yeah, Admiral Pride.
Did he have a name?
His name is Pride. I don't know if it's General or Admiral or what the fuck his name was.
I thought he was just Grand Fleet Admiral or something.
Yeah,
like that. They called him that.
Yeah, but then it was like you find out he's been working with Palpy the whole time.
Yeah. I don't know. Like we were saying, like make Kylo the big bad. That could have been the downfall. Was
yes,
like
and then
he just starts doing good, and then
bad.
Hux is just like, no.
Yeah, no. Precisely. It should have been like one. Either he goes good and Hux goes, no, fuck you, and then that becomes
that would have made sense because
or the other way around.
I don't know what they've been doing with him since the first movie. Because in the first movie, Hux was amazing.
He was awesome.
And he had so much potential. And then Last Jedi made a joke out of him. And they doubled down on that in this one, and he does nothing, and then gets a gut punch in death.
With the guy who created him, like JJ had him be awesome in the first one, and then wrote this.
Yeah,
what the fuck?
I don't know,
dude. Just they had no direction.
Nope.
And it all fell on having a good setup in the second movie, and you needed to have whoever was doing the third movie work with the person doing the second movie. Yeah. The first movie, it was fine. You're introduced the characters.
Yeah, the first movie's allowed to be a little weak because you're just introducing everybody in, and you'd be like, wow, that was a really good first shot. Let's see where we go from here.
Because then you go, all right, so you're going to set this up, so how am I supposed to end it? And then how am I supposed to do this? And you work together, make some compromises, and make a fucking comprehensive 2 films. Those two need to work together.
Yeah.
They're 2 separate goddamn movies. And one is a standalone movie, works okay. And then the other one is like, well, but now I have to try to make 2 movies into one. And then it kind of makes both of them weird at this point. Because now, if I were to go back and watch The Last Jedi, which I don't do too often, but like, I'm going to be like, it's going to make me like shrug my shoulders even more than I did at a lot of stuff. Like, I'm going to be like, well, this doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Again, what can you do? I just found it, I found it very frustrating because like you said, like you mentioned earlier, and I kind of disagree with, like, nobody's going to look fondly back at this trilogy. I'm like, I was ride or die. Force Awakens is one of my favorite movies of all time.
I know. Last
Jedi, I borderline love that movie. It has so many flaws as an actual film and some weird fucking things going on in it that I'm like, not having anything to do with the characters and Canto Bight and the stupid low speed chase and all that stuff. But the things that with the characters that I have fell in love with in the first movie, it did great things with them. And this is the movie to bring it all together. And you know what they did? Nothing.
No, they pooped in your cereal.
Rey does a thing. Kylo at least does a thing, but it's dumb. And they kiss, and then they do a kiss. And then it was over. And she says she's Rey Skywalker and ignites a lightsaber that's supposed to sell toys, I guess. And then
that's exactly what it is.
And then it was
that's the whole reason that other
and it was fucking over.
Other costumes exist for those Imperial officers.
Yeah, it's fucking over.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, you're right. There was a lot of cool things, but it was in service of absolutely nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And I checked out. I have a hard time remembering the sequence of like the order in which these things happened in this movie.
Okay.
Like
let me see. This will be fun. Let's see if we can put it together. I'll start.
Lightspeed skipping.
See, I thought that's where the movie opened.
But it didn't.
I forgot. No, when you brought up Kylo and everything, I was like, oh yeah, that starts with him fucking cutting that dude in half.
Oh, which was cool.
Oh, dude. I wanted a lot of him and his Ren boys. I didn't want him standing around on a Star Destroyer being like, hey, you guys don't like my hat? And they were like, no, your hat's great. And he's just like, no, die.
Yeah, it's like, what, you mean the fucking hat you were already wearing, like, presumably a couple years ago?
Again, I wish they'd kept the weld marks. I thought that was super sick.
Yeah.
I wanted, and then, okay, so we got the Knights of Ren and him cutting fools down. He gets the magic triangle. He gets the Triforce.
Yeah.
And then goes to the giant floating triangle.
Yep.
Meets Palpy.
Meets Palpatine.
We cut from there.
Who offers
in a weird. the editing in this.
Yeah. No, let's do it.
Well, dude, it's just like, we're here. Now we're back here. Now we're back. Where are we in time? That was what I was trying to figure out a lot of the time. Where it's just like, Kylo's having a conversation with somebody. We cut to Rey doing a thing. Halfway through Rey doing the thing, we're just done with that scene. Now we're back to Kylo talking to the same person he was talking to in the previous scene. I'm like, is this supposed to be happening at the same time?
Yeah. Are they gonna meet up at some point here? Like, yeah. Are these? Yeah. Events?
Are you doing like a Tarantino thing? You know?
Yeah. It immediately. Yeah, you're right. Doesn't it immediately cut to them playing space chess?
It cuts immediately to them playing space chess, and then they're going to Floaty Ice Place.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then lightspeed skipping.
Yes.
Which is a thing from the books, but the books explained it. This just drops it on you like you're going to know what the fuck's happening. And you don't, when you do it, they don't follow you.
Well,
because they don't know where you're going.
Well, they established in the last movie that they have the lightspeed tracking now.
Oh, yeah. TIE fighters.
I know. And that's what I thought, because remember that gigantic generator that they said was doing the tracking? That fucking Phasma comes back in and it's like, ooh, caught you.
You know, fucking...
They miniaturized it like Tony Stark.
They miniaturized it like Death Star technology.
True.
You know, everybody was blown away by that, and I was like, well, fucking, they did it in the last movie, and it honestly should have taken out that whole fucking mountainside instead of just opening a blast door.
Yeah, the one thing, true. I forgot about that. I always forget about Crate because I always think the movie ends when I want it to end. so
I genuinely found that funny because it always ends where I don't want it to end.
So you're right. I forgot about that. But what the fuck was I going to say? Oh, I thought something that you would like from this movie that I actually enjoyed was stupid Admiral Pride. He had a Thrawn thing going on where he was talking shit about how much they wasted with Starkiller Base, and then he's talking about how they have this huge.
Well, yeah, dude. The opening paragraphs of Thrawn's introduction in the Thrawn trilogy is just like, he fucked around and built that damn thing, and we could have built an entire fleet of super Star Destroyers, and I was just like, okay. I think I might like this guy. Oh, he's gone. You know?
Yeah, he talks to the Emperor at some point. It's like, I've always served you. I'm a dick, you see.
And it's like, I would have loved if Hux and him were like you know, Kylo, get the fuck out of here. You know?
Or Kylo. Yeah, that's the
I don't know why every every Imperial talks like.
Yeah, they turn on Kylo, and then they have a bigger thing to do or whatever. Like, there's a million things they could have done.
Yeah,
but we melted the face of the Emperor off
again.
Again,
a callback to Indiana Jones.
Yes.
That was very much Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, which was not appropriate, I don't think.
I thought it was a bit extreme for Star Wars. It was just like that was super funny because I went, whoa.
Yeah.
When it happened, and then I look over at your bro. I look over at Brandon. He's sitting there next to me. He just goes, "Oh my god!" And I was like, "Yeah, show your baby this movie."
Yeah. I don't know. Whatever. Like I said, I'm not gonna get too upset like all the internet ragers do.
No.
Like talking through it, I'm just kind of like, at least it's for a laugh.
I've seen
me and you are having a good time. Nobody's getting upset here. You know what I mean? And while genuinely disappointing, over this last week, I've had time to calm down.
Yeah, you were really mad when we left.
But the first couple of days, not mad's not even the right word. I was just kind of like,
why?
This has
did
been
I do
since
this?
2015?
14.
2014?
15?
I'm just like, I saw Force Awakens and I loved it.
Uh-huh.
Fucking loved it. And we went and saw The Last Jedi, and you can listen to that episode. And I have gripes upon gripes, but fucking I'm on cloud nine, and I love what they're doing with these characters. And I'm like, to your own admission here, or to both of us are saying here, like, they don't do anything. And while you're positive because you're looking on the bright side, I will give you that. And you're making me come around a little bit because there's things to like, sure. But it was such a gut punch to me that, like, the things that I was expecting, not even expecting, just I wasn't expecting anything. I didn't know what to expect from this movie, but I thought that the characters that I had grown to love would have some sort of conclusion.
I went in with no expectations. and I was still disappointed. But it's just like I just looked at everything here and I was like, well, that would be interesting. Can we spend no,
Yes.
we're not gonna hang on that one. Okay. Just like it's just when he met them and you find out that they were deserters, that was the biggest fuck you to me. Where I was just like, this is important to Finn.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
This is super important. These are his people right now.
and I
you
thought,
know?
yeah, and I also thought that they were going to set up yet a third love interest. They're like, we're going to make this one stick.
Yeah.
Like he had a thing for Rey, but then we were kind of like, we're not going to do that with them. So then we're going to make Rose, and she's going to kiss him, but we're not going to talk about that ever again.
Yeah.
And then they're like, and now another stormtrooper lady, and I was like, no, they don't do that either.
Nope.
So. Maybe he's just gay, and we had to know that Finn was not, or that Poe was not.
Yeah, like he was barking up the wrong tree with Poe.
With Poe, yeah.
Why
It
did I
was
say
too
that?
bad, because they would have been okay. I never cared about that. It was a funny thing to talk about for the most part. Like,
Yeah, well, it's
like
just,
because I'm like, no, they're just space bros. Relax.
yeah,
But then it's like, oh, they're gay. Whatever. I don't care. I didn't feel like they need. You know what? Why was her helmet so big? Why was her helmet so big? She was a human being. Carrie Russell. Why was her helmet so big? She was a human being.
I think I had a theory about that.
Also, my God, I laughed to myself a lot when Poe was like, whatever her goddamn name is. He's like, oh my
Zazie
God,
Beetz.
oh my God, you made it. And then all of a sudden I was like, I fucking forgot we were even supposed to care about her well-being because that planet got blown up.
Yeah.
And I had forgotten that had happened.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, she was on that planet.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I did. For a second there, I was like, oh, his friend died. Oh, no, she didn't.
Oh no, she didn't. It's funny, you made it. And I was like, oh yeah, shit, I should have cared, I guess.
Oh.
That was very funny.
I had a theory about her helmet
Mhm.
and everything. And it was lore, not just, like fucking Carrie Russell didn't want to be seen being a
Yes,
part
she
of this
was.
huge piece
Her
of shit.
eyes, yeah, her eyes were in one shot.
Yeah,
and
no.
the rest was. A
Do you remember?
double.
You played Knights of the Old Republic. Remember
Yeah.
Malik lost fucking. I was wondering if maybe she had lost
Yeah,
a lot of her fucking head. Maybe she was damaged, and the back was like a Lobot kind of thing,
maybe it could have been
a robot brain
deal.
kind of thing, and then like the bottom half of her jaw got fucked up. So all that was literally remaining was the top half of her face, because according to everything about Grievous, all that remains of him is his head.
Yeah,
And the rest is just robot body.
yeah. Well, it had a heart too, right?
Did he have his? Did he have
'Cause
his
that's-
heart?
yeah,
Oh
that's
yeah,
what
that's
it-
right.
that's what
Because that's
Obi-Wan
why he
shot.
that's why he got all fucked up in the
Yeah,
chest.
and I think
yeah.
he had lungs too. I don't know.
He did have lungs because that's why he's coughing and all jacked up in the movie because Mace Windu crushed his chest in the cartoon.
Oh, okay.
Nobody fucking saw that, so everybody was like, "Why is he walking around like an asthmatic? Is that like a bad Darth Vader?" No. He got his chest crushed in the cartoon that no one watched because it was on in 15-minute increments on Adult Swim at midnight.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. I had a theory about that. Like, fucking,
Yeah.
she has like that's all that really remains of her face. Because like with Malik, he doesn't have the lower half of his jaw, so he's just got that big fucking thing on his face. I'm covering my mouth on the mic, which is great for radio.
It's fine. It sells what you're doing. Yeah.
Because her voice was still synthesized when she popped her visor.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought she could be an interesting character. I love those lovable rogue lady thieves. I think they're always cool and fun. Like a Marion Ravenwood type.
Yeah,
Again, the Indiana Jones type.
Yeah, exactly. And some of the humor in this, I liked when it's like he ran Spice, and then he's like, "Well, you were a stormtrooper," and it's like,
that was great.
all right.
Poe Dameron the Spice Runner.
Yeah,
and he
unbelievable.
was just, unbelievable. He's like, "You were a stormtrooper," and he's like, "Formerly."
Yeah, we could do this all day. Scavenger.
Scavenger, droid, Wookiee, smuggler.
Yeah. See, you're a silver lining guy. I like that.
Oh, well,
And you're-
this
and
time around, remember Hellboy?
Yeah.
Remember Spider-Man?
True. But I like that you're like, no, more. Because the thing is,
I finally got a little bit of world building.
yeah, you're doing some headcanon lore world building stuff, and I'm just kind of like, I like
the immediate now.
I like
the story's not working.
I
and
like when
get
the
that.
movies do that, and I appreciate that, and that's why I like The Mandalorian a whole lot.
The Mandalorian is the best Star Wars in a long time.
Yeah, and it's like, but I want these characters to have a conclusion.
And this is why I said that I feel bad about it, because the immediate story, the here and now, is lackluster.
Yes. So I feel like we feel the same about the movie.
Oh yeah, I've gathered that at the beginning, where it's like, so we have a middle ground at least, because like I thought we were gonna come into this and start screaming at each other.
Oh, yeah. So well, and I'm just like, oh no, we feel almost exactly the same.
Yeah.
But you're like, the things that
Different,
I like elevated it more than the things that I disliked and liked, and it just we're on the same side of the. We're on two different.
We're on the coin.
Sides of the same quesadilla, amigo. Yeah, it's
because like none of your complaints are unfounded at all.
Yeah.
All of them have a good.
It's like you bring something up, and I go, "Yes, of course," but
well,
the
and
movie
and
the characters I love, and you're just like, "Yeah, well, yeah, that sucked." So I'm looking at this stuff, and I was like, "I feel, yeah, you're right," but
yeah, no, and every time you do it, I'm just like, "Yeah, I know that sucked."
Yeah, but these
That's why I feel bad.
I liked the scene with Han Solo. And,
I loved that scene. I thought it was really great.
I think you're right. I think I don't blame you in saying it's rushed, but I did like how he's like, you know what, had to think for a minute. I don't know. He was there like 5 minutes or something. He had to think, and he replayed that moment in his mind, and he made the right decision. And then he somehow got to where he needed to go, which don't think about it.
How did he even get off the road?
Don't think about it.
It makes me lots of money.
He fights the Knights of Ren. And then
I think that was what bothered me the most, where I was just like, oh no, it's those guys.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like, his arch nemesis.
Yeah, well, they've never really done anything but kind of stand around and look menacing, except for the very beginning of the movie where they kick the crap out of a bunch of nobodies.
Yep. And then he's like, oh, let's fight them together, and then doesn't do anything. You know, his story, and he threw his lightsaber into the ocean, and then we never saw him again.
Yep.
That's how I like to think about it. And I'm like, you know what, maybe he's out there doing the right thing.
Yeah, he's just out there running like a charity.
Or he shows up like Deus Ex Machina type and just dies doing that. Because I'm like, as dumb as, because it can't be any dumber than what happened.
It can't be.
They either could have done, you know, the kiss. I don't care about the kiss. I had always, in Force Awakens, there was some things going. They were holding hands. It wasn't like let's be BFFs and run the galaxy together. It was like, it's a dumb fairy tale esque. Like,
I don't know. It just never added up to me. Where I was just like, it's just like from a character point. I was just like, at what point did it didn't seem like a viable option?
It didn't seem appropriate.
It wasn't like Han Solo where he just constantly like ribs at Leia, and he's like, oh, she wants a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
It was just like, I'm gonna fucking murder you, and she's like, oh, dreamy.
Yeah.
You know.
She's like, I know who you really are. And he's just like, also, like, there's other dialogue from him that the dialogue they made him say pissed me off. Like, I'm going to find you and I'm going to turn you to the dark side. I'm like, how? Why do they say things like this?
I'll bet I will. I'll bet you won't. I bet I will.
Like,
Come try it, see what happens. What's going to happen?
I know Vader said it to fucking Luke, but like, it was a much more quaint
notion. It was a better
than...
line. It was a way better line, dude. He's like, he wasn't like dire straits. He's like, look, you can either fall to your death.
Yeah.
I can finish you right now, or you can come with me and we can fucking take this shit over. It was a bad. Plus, you had James Earl Jones.
Yes, exactly. But in this one, he's like, I'm going to find you and I'm going to turn you to the dark side. And I was just like it's like this. The wording of it and like the language was weird, like
it was
the
really
inflection,
bad.
and I was just kind of like, ugh.
It was a bad line, not prequel bad, but almost there.
Like, I'm gonna find you, and then I'll show you. I'll give you a PowerPoint.
Things will be wizard.
Yeah.
He will dump all your points into Sith power and bomb on charisma.
Yeah. One of his first lines in Force Awakens was like, I'll show you the dark side. And I was like, and that was dope.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah.
Kylo has never been like I like the
Kylo's
character.
never sucked.
Yeah, I liked all the character stuff in Last Jedi, but Kylo has never been cooler and also a fucking fuck up more than in Force Awakens.
Nope.
Cool, idiot, child clearly, and then like just fuck up by the end of it. And
Yep.
you're just like, this guy's cool. I like this guy.
Yeah.
And then this one, he's like,
Well, dude, when he stopped that blaster bolt in Force Awakens,
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? You know, because
Yeah.
I didn't know you could do that.
exactly. Force, yeah. The people use the Force in this movie. I really liked that.
Oh, yeah. People use the Force
Until Force lightning came out of her hands and exploded, I was like, this is fucking awesome.
See, I kind of liked the lightning. Because
It's
I
what
was
it
just like,
represented.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or I was just like, oh shit. Like, because it's like, for me, like, I
She
don't know,
pushed
maybe
it too far.
She pushed it too far. Yeah. I was just like, oh, fuck. That was bad.
Yeah.
You know, like she was trying too hard or she has untapped potential.
Exactly, and they stated Luke told her like you went straight to the dark side, like you don't have great control here, lady.
Yeah.
So that could have been set up, but I was like,
Well, that was it being set up, wasn't it? You went straight to the dark side.
Yeah.
She's Palpy's brat.
it could have, dude. Who knows? Maybe this was always a thing.
No, it wasn't.
I doubt it,
Yeah.
but
It wasn't.
I don't care for it. I think it's the Palpatine, the Emperor, has children.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Who fucked Poonface?
Like the whole
'Cause
point
he's
of
a poon
Anakin,
face.
I thought, was that he like fucking tried to will somebody into existence, and that was fucking just. This movie makes sure that a lot of things, if you think about them too much, make no sense. This is the ultimate movie for doing that.
So it's a Christopher Nolan movie.
Yo, that movie looks sweet, but I know if I watch it more than
I
one
know.
time, it's gonna fall
Oh
apart.
yeah. I keep seeing online people being like, I can't wait to wrap my head around this one, and I was like,
No,
don't
you
do
don't.
that.
No, you don't want
ever
to.
do that.
I thought I wanted to with
Yeah.
fucking Inception, and then I realized that's a bad idea.
Yeah, once you start thinking about a Christopher Nolan movie, you're just like, wow, that was really fucking dumb.
Yeah, stupid. I should have just watched the visuals.
That's kind of why I liked Interstellar, because it's his dumbest movie and it is blatantly writing on the wall. It's
Yeah.
It's a dumb, emotion-driven sci-fi movie,
Yeah, fair enough.
and I'm okay with that.
Yeah. So,
Wrap my head around. I hate it when people say, "Oh man,
You gotta
can't wait
wrap
to
your head
delve into
around
the deeps of this." Fucking,
I'm gonna have to go watch Rise of Skywalker 3 more times to wrap my head around it.
I know, dude. I'm gonna have to watch it 3 more times just to remember everything from the plot.
I'm gonna watch it again.
I will.
See what happens. See this conversation. You know what? Fucking, we should have had this a lot earlier, sir. This has been a nice conversation. It's helped me discover things, my thoughts about the movie a lot.
I gotta say, I had addressed some complaints I had about the Fallen Order storyline.
Yeah.
It is a better Star Wars story than this. A much better Star Wars story than this movie.
Yeah.
Mandalorian does everything great
It's a
because
different
it's
thing.
old school Star Wars. It's scaled back. It's a small cast.
Yeah.
It's a nuts and bolts, nitty gritty, down in the dirt, Western Star Wars story.
Different
and
thing.
I absolutely the Jedis are magical and rare and frightening.
Yep.
And I like that. And Fallen Jedi, they're mystical and there's adventure and it's high flying, swashbuckling, and it's mystical and unknowable and scary and wondrous. And it captures all the good stuff about they both capture the best parts of Star Wars in a much smaller scale.
Yep.
And I feel like whoever is really in charge of this show and the games, like I know it's Jon Favreau and the Respawn Studios, but whoever's like sitting there, it's like did they just leave them alone?
They must have.
Is there anything?
It was probably all hands on deck for this movie.
Oh, it had to be.
I
love
guess
that you gesture towards the
Yes.
computer screen.
all hands on deck for Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah,
and let me say, I also do not envy all the people who had to make this movie and had to make all 3 of these movies.
Yeah.
It was never going to be.
It seems that it's product over presentation. And that's what I've had a large problem with a lot of the Marvel movies. The machine that was Marvel and the machine that has been Star Wars for this isn't the first time that I've felt dirty about Star Wars. I'm talking prequels, I'm talking special editions.
Yeah.
For a long time, Star Wars has felt filthy to me. When I saw the love and care put into Fallen Order and I see the love and care put into Mandalorian, it's refreshing to see that somebody's just making Star Wars. Doesn't feel like they're out there to put butts in the seats for this stuff. It seems like they're just trying to do some Star Wars stuff, and I enjoy that. With the saga movies and the offshoots, it felt like it was just like, we have to get the product out there, otherwise people will stop caring, and we have the cash cow.
Yeah.
You know, which is ironic given the complaints that you and I have both raised about how EA has done nothing with their cash cow.
Yeah.
But there's a difference. Like I don't want this, that, and the other thing. I just want more Star Wars games because like it's a video game kind of thing. I don't ask a lot from like a pod. Yeah, I don't mind a pod racer game, or I just want games. You know, like give me something fun to play while I'm in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Got that with Fallen Order.
Jedi Fallen Order, yeah.
When it comes to the movies, I expect you to try to tailor make something, you know, just sit there, put some love. So that's what Force Awakens felt like to me. Was they really sat down, they really tried to think about it. They tried to give you a good character and everything, even though she's a terrible Mary Sue. I've forgotten all the other movies. That really pisses me
off. It's the
off.
writing. You're 100% right. It's the writing all the way through. They needed to have a writer to sit down and write a trilogy.
See, everybody keeps saying they should have planned it out from the word go. They didn't plan the original trilogy out
you
from
can
the word go.
You can pivot and you can roll with the punches and whatever, but they needed a writer to have an outline.
They needed an actual like JJ should have been there from like Jon Favreau not making the movies after Iron Man 2, but he was still present for the other one.
They had an
Whedon.
end. Write the ending first. Yeah. Fine. Write the ending first and then go back and figure it out, but don't make up an ending after 3 different setups.
Yeah, you bring that up. Well, one of my favorite Batman the Animated Series episodes was written from ending to beginning. It started with Freeze looking out the window. It was when they introduced Mr. Freeze's character. He started with him looking out the window and he cries. First, the guy can't feel emotions, but he drops a tear, and they go out the window and it's snowing, which is a really cool, like he's kind of making it snow or something like that. It's a good thing. And then they wrote it backwards for his whole origin story, and it's one of the best episodes of the entire series. So I'm a big fan of writing things from the ending to the beginning. Like, I firmly believe Tron Legacy's ending was written before the rest of the movie because the ending is the best scene in the whole movie.
Agreed.
I don't know, dude. It's like everybody keeps talking about how Marvel had a plan the whole fucking time. They didn't.
They had an idea, but not a plan. They weren't like, then we do this.
I feel like everybody is going to look at how this trilogy played out and being like, should plan it out the whole from the beginning, like they did with Marvel. Marvel didn't plan shit.
And
from
also,
the beginning.
Marvel had a gazillion movies to work with.
Yeah,
and it's like, it's not like there was Avengers 1, Avengers 2, and Avengers 3.
Yeah,
it didn't work that way.
No, you have to watch all 23 movies for Endgame to make any sense.
Yeah, and Phase 2 is a nightmare, so...
Phase 2's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just like... And look at all the shit they've had to go back and be like, oh, yeah, sure, that kid's Peter Parker. Yeah, that's definitely the Punisher. The Punisher and Daredevil and Luke Cage will all be in the Avengers eventually. No, they won't.
Nope.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. matters, you know? Yeah. The Inhumans, those are going to be huge.
People are really going to like that.
Yeah.
Like, have a feeling.
Yeah. We introduced Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver as Inhumans. Nope, they're not Inhumans, you know?
Yeah, you could pick it apart to death. I just wish they would have done a better job.
I really do. I do, dude. It just bugs me that, you know, everybody's just like, should plan it out. And I feel like people are going to weigh this against Marvel's franchise because they're the two biggest right now.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, guys, Marvel didn't have their shit together either. They just have a really good PR to make you think they did.
Yeah.
You know?
Well... They're not as bad as the prequels.
No.
Tell you
Oh
that.
God, no.
Well,
No.
first of all, Force Awakens and the Last Jedi are my second and fourth favorite movies, respectively. This is way down on the fucking list. I haven't figured it out yet. Gotta give it
See,
some time.
it still sits above everything from the prequels.
If I'm being honest, yeah.
It's probably right around Return of the Jedi for me.
Wow.
Well, because Return of the Jedi is kind of dumb.
No, it's not. Yeah. No, I agree.
And I love Return of the Jedi.
Yeah. So, yeah. I was going to say so do I, but love.
He's got a thing with Stace teddy bears. I like Ewoks a whole lot.
I like Ewoks.
Because it's like,
I
I remember thinking, like, as I got older, I was like, Ewoks are kind of lame. And then I saw the prequels and met the Gungans. And I was just like, I'll take an Ewok any day.
Yeah. It's mostly the movie having nothing for the characters to do outside of that first act. Yeah.
I love you. I love you. Let's blow up a bunker together.
Yeah.
Romantic.
And Harrison Ford like sarcastically acting his way through it and shit.
Well, because he didn't want to be there.
Yeah. That's mostly that. But this movie, it's well made in production wise.
Yeah.
I think writing and editing could use some work. But it could, you look at the prequels and it's like, it looks bad, the acting's bad, the writing's bad, the direction's bad.
The direction's terrible.
The editing, also bad.
Yeah. Well, it's super funny. I saw this article online today where it was just like George Lucas told Palpatine's actor that he died in Return of the Jedi. And I was like, he also said thank you for the billions of dollars to Disney. So what the fuck do we care? What does anybody care what George Lucas thinks at this point?
I don't understand.
He started systematically sabotaging this on his own long time ago. He made it so it's damn near impossible to watch the movies in their original format, in their original quality. No editing. He made the prequels and then he readily, happily sold off his quote unquote baby that everyone else took care of for a quick, easy buck.
Yeah.
You know, so like, I don't know. I don't understand this. Anytime we don't like what happened in Star Wars, we all rally behind what George Lucas said.
Something George Lucas said when he was talking out his ass for 30 years. Yeah. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. Star Wars. Love it. I don't care right now. And they say this knowing that I'm going to watch the last episode of The Mandalorian here pretty soon.
Well, I see that there's a difference. There's a difference because like I'm looking forward to the next Fallen Order game.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm looking forward to see what else is coming down the pike in the Star Wars gaming world.
Yeah.
I'm definitely looking forward to more Mando. I'm very interested in what's going to go on with Obi-Wan.
Yeah, Obi-Wan should.
I want to see what they're going to do because it's supposed to be a more personal story. So I made the joke, but I would love it if it's just like a Hugh Grant movie.
Yeah.
The Jedi that went up a hill and came down a mountain.
Well, it's too bad.
4 pyres and a medal ceremony.
The last two saga Star Wars movies that come out, I don't ever think about Solo, but I was obsessed with them. Last Jedi not as much, but was obsessed with them, and this one I'm just kind of like, I'm not the kind of person to just get so upset and be on the internet all day talking about how they ruined everything.
Good God.
I just don't.
It sounds exhausting.
It does. It really does. I
have so many other things to be mad about.
I'm just depressed because I'm like, the last movie in this trilogy that I was very invested in came out, and I just don't care. I'm kind of don't think about it anymore. I'm just like, first couple days, just like, I couldn't believe how fucking bad it was.
Yeah.
And how disappointed I was. And then I was kind of like, oh, well, whatever. Yeah, it's over.
Yeah.
I still have those other movies. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is everybody acts like the newest Star Wars has ruined Star Wars forever. Like we can't, we can't do anything else. You know, it's.
Yeah. I mean, this one tries. This one really does try. I'll give it that. It was just like, hey, remember when Vader threw him down a hole and he like saved his son and the galaxy and all that? And he's still alive and he's gonna blow it up even worse this time. And I was like, well, fuck.
Anakin did say balance the force like I did.
True. That was cool.
I thought that was awesome.
They had Freddie Prinze Jr. in there.
Dude, yeah, I
talk about Freddie Prinze all the time.
I was gonna say, did you look up the list? Because I looked up the list, and
list.
there's a shit ton of them in there from the Gindi cartoon, from the Clone Wars proper cartoon, Rebels. They play Alec Guinness,
and Obi-Wan,
and
Ewan McGregor.
Ewan McGregor. Qui-Gon shows up. Yoda's in there. Luke's in there.
Yoda.
I was just surprised at how many random Jedi from other media were in that little Force Ghost bit. Ones that nobody like. Who remembers Isla?
Yeah.
You know, like I thought that was because I thought Isla was badass. I loved her look. She was in the Gindi cartoon. She was the Twi'lek.
Yes.
She was. I thought she was great. I loved her look. I loved her design. She had a cool saber. I thought she was awesome, and I was glad to see that my girl showed up.
Yep.
Ahsoka was there.
Ahsoka Tano.
I think Bindi was in there too. That was pretty sweet. I think that was her name. Shakti. That's what I'm thinking of.
Shakti.
Yeah. That was cool. She was another Gindi character.
And I mean, and they had set that up earlier in the movie. That was probably going to happen. I'm glad. You know what? Good on them. They didn't. I mean, they had Force Ghost at the end of the fucking movie. But
I wish we had seen the Force Ghost. I would have honestly.
But it wasn't like Ben Solo and like Luke hanging out, you know, just like, hey,
just high fiving.
I'm like, but then like you're saying, on the other hand, I'm like, oh, that would have been too much.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Oh, that would have been too much. Yeah.
Ray Skywalker. All right. All right. You got anything else to say about this movie? Because you know we're going to bring it up from time to time.
This is a nitpick.
Okay.
Nittiest pick.
The nittiest of picks.
Y-Wings can't fly like that.
I don't even remember Y-Wings.
Dude, they were bombers. They were just big, bombers. Slow. They had one Y-Wing and it's out there pulling like fucking loop-de-loos and doing crazy Ivans and just like, and I'm like, Y-Wings do not
I probably didn't
like
notice
that.
it was a Y-Wing because it was flying like that. So
yeah,
probably why I didn't even notice it. But
like I said,
I really do need
stupid nitpick, dude.
I really do
but
need
I was
to
just, it was just like, Y-Wings can't fly like that.
I really do need to see it again though, because I legitimately had checked out at a certain point. I was so upset.
Before the big space battle? Before the big sky battle?
The only, even though the line was corny, I still liked it. They're just like, they don't have a fleet. And they're like, it's just a bunch of people. And I was like, I like that.
I thought that was cool. Yeah.
They finally did answer the call, even though I guess it was Lando doing it. But they finally went and answered the call and were like, you know what? We are not okay with an emperor and a bunch of Death Stars taking over the galaxy.
Yeah, we're way cooler with a council. And a Senate.
Yeah. I don't know if a lot of them knew what was going on.
Was there a Senate?
With Rey and all that. I guess maybe she had a press conference after. I don't know. Did she tell the whole? She's like, and Ben Solo saved the day because I'm guessing Luke told everybody about Vader, right?
Then the whole thing just outrage! The audacity!
Because in Force Awakens and maybe Last Jedi, I think it's like a knowledge that he had redeemed himself. I don't know. Who fucking knows? I have nothing else to say at this moment about the movie. I mean, I could, but again,
good question for you, just on a prop standpoint.
Yeah,
was there a standout blaster in this? Just remember the DL-44 is
I just remember seeing Rey's again, and I was like, you know what, I like that one.
It's a pretty cool gun.
Yeah, she busts it out and shoots at the guy, and he explodes.
I'm trying to remember because Poe's supposed to be kind of the Han Solo character. I was like, he just had like a.
He also doesn't fly outside of the one time in the Millennium Falcon. No, at the end, I guess he's in his X-wing. Is it his X-wing?
It's his. They repainted it. It's orange and white.
Oh.
Except I think R2 was his.
Yeah, he had R2 with him. Yeah, then where was BB-8?
BB-8 was with Ray.
Inside the monolith?
No. BB-8 was on the Falcon.
Okay. With Lando?
With Lando, I think.
Okay. With Lando and Chewie.
Lando and Chewie and Feel Sad for Me droid.
Oh, yeah, that droid. It's fine.
I thought he was okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Apparently that's J.J. Abrams.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I do like that everybody...
Elo Asti fucking... So Snap Wexley got exploded, but Elo Asti survived.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I was like, oh, death from a boy snaps confirmed.
Yeah.
One love, buddy.
Shit.
True. You know?
He went out of his way in the first one to not do the
to
things.
not, yeah, oh
to
yeah.
not
He
explode.
straight up told JJ, I'm not getting out of the shit. I'm not getting out of the fighter.
I'm not doing it.
I'm not doing it. I'm not saying that line.
Yeah.
Wedge, that was awesome
Wedge,
for me.
yeah.
Was seeing Wedge back. I gotta say, you know, yeah, fan service, but
True.
Wedge was my boy, dude. He survived 2 Death Stars
yeah.
and the battle on Hoth.
Yeah, no, that's like in-game style shit where it's like the whole crew's here. Like, that's fine. It was more like, oh, let's have Chewie have a breakdown and give him a medal. Like, that shit's so fucking stupid.
I think if he had just been like, oh no, you know, like I'd have been all right, but no, they pull way back to show his whole like.
It was like Like I was like, who's in there? Shatner?
Yeah. No. God. Yeah.
And it's like, I get it. He did the kind of the same thing and then shot Kylo when it happened to Han.
Yeah.
But like, it was a direct thing because people were like, he wasn't even upset.
He didn't even get a huggy poo. He would have gone on for the snuggle. I was like, yeah, okay.
And then it almost feels like...
He already got mad. Now he's just mad.
And yeah, you know what it felt like? You always described to me, they added DLC to Mass Effect 3.
Oh, God.
Where you go and hang out with your crew and they tell you about how cool everything was.
Oh, man, great to be fighting
it was like almost,
the baddest ass in the galaxy, John Shepard.
And it's almost like they're taunting you, but you don't understand because you're too dumb. Like the people who liked those scenes with Chewie, like they don't get they were being made fun of.
Yeah.
And to us, it was just frustrating.
Yeah. It's like no. And the guy next to me is going, I sat next to the Pillsbury Doughboy. It was the worst.
I put myself on the edge all the time because
all the
I'm
time.
smart.
No, you're not. You're smart because you buy the tickets and choose everyone's seating order.
Exactly, because I'm smart. And
you're
also
a tyrant.
Don't let him talk shit because he wants to sit in the middle of the movie theater. So I always get a middle row and I put him all the way to the middle. And this theater actually had good sound. For not being the XD theater, I was like, oh, okay, this actually sounds good.
Dude, it sounded great. Yeah. I was really, really pleased with the sound of this. Like when she fires a lightning bolt, that was very satisfying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Good
That's
stuff.
A lightning noise for everybody at home.
Red lightning.
Red lightning's cool, man.
It is. I agreed.
You child.
Yeah, I mean, I could just pick out things forever. Fuck it. It's not worth it.
It really isn't.
It's not worth it. I mean, you've already seen it or you're going to go see it. Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? Do you think it's whatever? I don't know. Let us know.
Yeah.
It's cool to have different opinions on the fucking Star Wars. It's fine.
Yeah, it's healthy for I just had an argument with a guy the other day about Kylo Ren being lamer than Anakin, and I was like, they're like the same fucking dude. And the guy said something. What was he talking about? He said he was just like, oh yeah, he was real cool. He killed a defenseless old man and fucking was a terrible person. He murdered all these, he's the leader in the First Order. I was like, Anakin murdered every Jedi, killed kids, tried to kill his pregnant wife.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't going to kill her, bro. And I'm like, yeah, he fucking was. And it's then that spiraled into a bit of an argument, but like we were still cool with each other at the end of it. Like it's just debate amongst fans.
For sure.
I still argue that Kylo Ren is no better or worse than Anakin Skywalker.
Don't care. Don't care. I'm over it. This has been another episode.
All right, well, I'll just keep my stuff to myself.
No, I mean, like my opinion on there. I
get
think
you.
Kylo Ren is one of the best characters they've made.
Oh, I love Kylo Ren.
But,
I think that Kylo Ren is the Anakin that we should have got.
Yes.
But at the core, they're the same guy.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And you're gonna find your little echo chambers on the internet, and you're gonna get upset about things. But at the end of the day, it's just kind of like, you like Star Wars, cool. Like,
Yeah, I was mainly just saying.
don't make
like,
ridiculous-
everybody's got differing opinions.
yeah, if yeah, no, for sure. And you can still be friends with people who are like, I like this movie. If you like it, cool. If you don't, whatever. Like, whatever. Just don't be a dick. There are people who go online and are like crazy.
Oh,
about
they
these
browbeat
things.
other people.
Where you're
Yeah,
just like,
they
hey, I like
shout
The Last
down other
Jedi,
people.
and they're just like, you're the worst piece of shit ever, and it was so stupid. And they come up with the dumbest things to say. It's never a critique of the movie. It's like a personal attack.
It is
about
and
something.
That's
most
what
times.
everything is with these movies. They're all personal. There are attacks on the writers, on the directors, on
Yeah.
the actors. Just fucking Jesus, man! You didn't like the movie. Suck it the fuck up.
Yeah, exactly. That has been our discussion of the movie.
Yeah,
We
we
will-
resolved nothing,
we've-
much like the movie did.
Yeah, no, like, yeah, we feel the same way about some things, but we kind of differ on our enjoyment of it. I'm going to see it again. We'll talk about it again. It's going to happen. Like,
Yeah, we still bring up the other
we
ones.
bring up the other ones all the time. We talk about stuff. It's what we does. Thank you very much for listening. We will be back. We are going to do our catch up for the year, where we're going to talk about all the things we didn't have time to talk about because it's been a crazy couple of months.
Yes, indeed.
Personal life, production wise, whatever.
I had a cold for like a month.
Josh was sick for a month and a half.
I think I'm still sick.
Holidays, etc., but we're going to catch up on some of the things we didn't see. We'll get an episode out for that. Then you can look forward to our top 5, probably late in January.
Yeah, we usually go about award season.
Yeah. And we have to hash out the rules all the time. Josh is a stickler for trying to break the rules.
I'm a rule breaker. I'm a rebel.
He's a real rebel. So thank you very much for listening. You can find us on
Rebel
all major podcasting apps, including
Don't ignore that.
Apple,
You heard it.
Google, and Spotify,
I'm not
my
proud of that
friends. Spotify. We're on SoundCloud at Mighty Movie Pod on Twitter, twitch.tv/Mighty Fish Productions. We are Mighty Fish Productions on YouTube. That is where you can find classic catch up. Coming to you soon. Enough. TM. Cool. Got anything else to say, Josh? I had a very good time discussing this movie with you, friend.
I want to say something, but I know you'll get mad at me.
What are you going to say?
Can we wrap it up? Because I really have to fart.
Goodbye.